I'll just say hello, good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you guys for coming. We might have more people. So everybody knows me. Does everybody know Randy?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I've heard of him.
Last week when I was in the back in the computer room getting to know Kevin, Randy came in and we started chatting, and then he did something on the MLS. I said, oh, I didn't know that. And I said, hey, do you want to help teach? Hey, do you want to join me? And he said, very nicely, he said, yes, I'll help you. I'll help teach. And I think he's a teacher at heart anyway, if you're willing to share, which is good, because we all learn from each other, right? So, Randy's going to start with the first section of the MLS, and please feel free. This is interaction. What's the word? Interactive. I knew I'd get it. Interactive type classes. So, all right, Randy, you don't mind if they stop and ask a question?
Well, questions always, input is always welcome as well.
And help.
And because everybody can learn from each other, like you say.
Yeah.
And so, being that I'm facing this way, guys,
Makes sense.
I'm going to actually sit facing that way, because if I'm turning this way trying to control it, we'll be lost. At least I will.
If we can just real quick, there's just a few of us. 2, 4, 6. If we can just go around, introduce ourselves, and how long you been in business in real estate? You start.
My name is Randy Sedano. I've been in real estate for at least 3 weeks now. Not lying. 90, well, it's true, I'm not lying. 93, I think, is when I got into business on the mortgage side, and then after a few years, I stopped doing mortgages and was full of stuff. And so, anyways, I'm fairly new to Keller Williams, because I was, I think it was, 3, 4 months ago. That's when I started here. So, anyways, I enjoy helping people, and also, like I say, it's interactive, so we all learn from each other. Anyways, that's me.
Alex?
My name is Alex Jolie, and I've been in business since, I guess recently,
No.
2016 actually.
2016?
Yeah, that's when I got my license, January 1st of 2016. Yeah. But, yeah, I've been since then, I've been with KW.
From 16?
Yeah, since I started.
Okay, great.
I never worked for any
That's on the first of the new year?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Yvonne, and I got my license in 06, and I'm extremely thankful and blessed to be in real estate.
I'm Rudora Basco. I've been in real estate since 1992.
92.
But part-time.
Part-time.
My name's Kevin. I got my real estate license on, I think, the 3rd, July 3rd.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so almost not even a month yet. I'm really excited to be here.
Welcome. Alma?
Hi.
We're just introducing ourselves.
Okay, my name is Alma, and I've been in real estate since 2017.
Tom?
Tom Calavola, been in the business going on 20 years. I find I'm always learning something new, and so I just thought I wasn't going to sit down in this class. I went back to my desk and I'm going, I saw somebody else do a couple of tricks on the MLS that I didn't. It was a shortcut I hadn't seen before, and I thought, I had to sit and maybe I'll learn something new.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay, so I think everybody here knows how to do a basic search. That's why I got some Kevin, because he's the newest one. But when you've been searching it, have you been looking for buyers, or have you been looking for just the neighborhoods, or what have you been doing?
Kind of getting used to the layout of it, seeing if there's open house schedules or not, and calls that way. So.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get too basic, since everybody really knows how to do a search, but what I think I want to share is, maybe we'll go into a basic search, and then what I was going to do is I'm going to show you guys what I like to do every day on the dashboard with the Market Watch and favorite searches, and hot sheets. Have you been using those? No? Okay, so, for example, let's say you have a client and you're looking in a certain area, a certain type of house, and you go and you do your search, put all the criteria in, and we have the inventory coming all the time. So every day, or maybe 3 times a day, you have to go in and do that whole search criteria again. So there is a thing called favorite search, where you save that search, and you put a name on it, and then you just click on it, automatically it does the search for you. One click. So that's favorite searches, and then there's also hot sheets, like if you want to keep track of the neighborhood. If you want to know what's going on in a certain area because you're working on something, maybe a listing coming up, or you just want to keep an eye, because what I'll do is if I have a listing that we're prepping, I want to keep an eye on what's going on in that neighborhood. So every day I'll just click on hot sheet, or a few times a day, see if anything new came up, see if anything went pending. And it's all just one or 2 clicks.
And if I turn this off, is that going to mess you up?
Nope.
That's better, right, to see?
So we're doing hot sheets right now tonight?
Well, we're going to do a basic search, and then we're going to go into favorite searches, then we'll do hot sheets, and then we'll talk about market watch. Not in that specific order, so if you guys have questions or if you want to target on something, we'll do that. Whoops.
My section will be close.
Okay, so everybody knows how to do a search, sounds like. So let's just do a search just so we can get set up for something. But before we do that, not everybody's familiar with this bar up here. So let's say you have a client that says, hey, I saw a house on, give me a street, who has an active listing right now? What street?
How about Kauai Drive?
Coy? Okay, so instead of trying to search for
Let's
it.
do Tom's listing.
Okay.
What's your street?
It's Phelps, Phelps.
Did that go pending, didn't you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that won't work.
Well, I mean, it'll work. But let's just say you're looking for, let's see, so you do A, that stands for active. Coy, street name.
Yeah.
And then it's going to ask you, is Coy, is that the city or is that the street?
Street, Kauai Drive.
So it's street name. So there's a lot, what it does, it picks up all these different Coys. So go to the postal city. And it's Santa Fe. So there's your Coy Drive, Fort City.
So is it K-O-Y or K-O-I?
COY.
Oh, C-O-I.
C-O-Y.
It's over there by Oak Grove High School.
So there's the listing right there. And this one is, there was a lot of Coys that came up. So let's say somebody calls and they say, I saw a house on Phelps. But they don't know the address, so you start out A, Phelps. And if you don't see it, or there's Saturday, yep. So there's a few of them on Phelps. These are the condos right here. And so, if they say, well, it's a condo, then you know it's one of these. If it's a house, you know it's not going to have a number next to it. But if they say, no, it's a house, then I know it's none of those, so then, okay, well, let's try active contingent. And is that it?
Oh, I can't read anything here.
So, what you do, you start out with either active, active contingent, or P for pending, and then the street name, and it'll pull everything on the street. Unfortunately, sometimes, if they're the same street name in other cities that are in our MLS, it'll pull them all up. If they have the actual address, you can actually go right to the address. 1239 Madrona. Somebody called me up with that address. So there it is. It's on there twice because I sold it twice. Sold it once in, I think it was 2010, and then this one just closed today.
Got your listing?
Yep.
Congratulations. You closed it. So, oh, you don't have to put initial first. You can just put.
No, if you have the address, put the full address, and it goes right to that house.
Okay, got it.
If there's more, if it's sold more than once, of course, it's going to pull all the activity on it. For example, see, sold it at 775.
Makes everything so easy.
See, it just, that's what Randy showed me the other day, I never knew that. Because when I started, nobody showed me that.
So that's called the speed bar. Full address, or A for active, AC, active contingent, P. And then if you do sold, and then, that sometimes doesn't work because there's so many solds because it goes back years.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to a search.
Even that was better, because if you have sold for a particular address, you can just put S, the address, and you'll see the whole history of all of them, rather than you trying to go in there and put dates.
Well, if you put just the address, you're going to get all the escrows for that property. That's why it showed when I did 1239 Madrona, it showed when I sold it a few years back, and it showed the one that just sold right now.
But somebody just want to know that, what all through the history.
Yeah, so if you're going to work on a listing, put the address in the speed bar, and just see what has happened over the years.
I think a lot, I do that, I put the address up then, and I always get an error message.
An error message?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be because, let me show you something right now.
What was Alma's question?
She sometimes gets an error message, and what will happen is if you are in, let me see, let's go to, okay, so right now, see how this box is checked off right there? That means there's other criteria involved. So let's say you go put the address in right now, 1239 Madrona. It's not going to work because this is checked off. That means it's 1239 Madrona plus all this other criteria. So you might want to check, make sure that that is not there. I got rid of that checked off box. And oops, get rid of the check. And see, now it works. So check that box. Any questions on the speed bar? No. Okay, cool. Pretty easy, huh? Pretty easy. Okay, so let's say we are working with a buyer. We're looking for active, single family, at least 4 bedrooms. Oops. 4 plus. At least 2 full bathrooms, 2 plus. We want to stay in a certain price range, let's say 1 million to 1.3. And we got to have at least 1,500 square feet.
What do you do when you want land with the property?
If you want, well, you put right here lot size, you can either do square feet or you can do acreage. So if you say you're working down in South County, Gilroy, Morgan Hill, then there's a lot of acreage out there, so you just put, say you want at least 10 acres, 10 plus,
Okay.
and then acres.
On that question, Alma, do you want just land or are you talking about with the property?
With the property.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, if it was just land, it'd be in different class. Not in classes like here today, but in different classes on the MLS. Okay, so at least 1,500 square feet, active single-family residence, million to 1.3, and we're going to be looking in, let's say, Willow Glen. So right away, it gives us a total of 41. Okay? So these are all the active ones. Now, what I want to do now is, say I didn't find anything there, but this guy wants me to search and search and search until we find the right one. So I'm going to save this search.
Did you put a limit on the price?
Yeah, 1 million to 1.3. Okay, so now I hit save, and now it says, is this a new save search? And I can say yes. I'm going to save this, I'm going to name this Tom. Because Tom keeps calling me every day about his house in Willow Glen.
Yeah, so,
You did $1 million?
yeah. But isn't there a short way for this, for the number? Rather than, we put in 1,000 to 1,300. But isn't there a short way to do that?
Well, if you want to go $1 million plus, that would give you $1 million and everything above $1 million, or 1 million minus, and it'll give you everything $1 million and less than $1 million.
I thought I saw somebody else do something different with that, rather than typing all those, that's okay.
That's if you do a range.
Yeah, I know this.
You know that, okay.
I thought there was a, yeah, okay, good.
Any proper quote.
Where's 41?
Thanks.
This one, you don't need plus and minus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you put plus after the bedrooms?
Yeah.
Or
Oh, you know what?
after the one?
Randy, I think you put 13,000 instead of 1,300.
Oh,
Yeah, so I only have 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that would make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did put two.
Oh, yeah, well, I wouldn't mind selling a $13 million property. So, you only had 4? Okay, so that's fine.
okay.
So,
Yeah, that's it.
not a problem. Go to results. We got our results. Now hit save and call it a new save search. And we're going to name it. And we're going to name Tom. And you can either put, if you have them as a contact in your MLS, you can just have it go directly to them. But I like for things to come to me before things go to my clients. So I usually just use myself. Oops, not that one, I'm sorry. Hit the drop down menu. I have to go to myself. And I'm going to have this where it says enable favorite search on dashboard. I'll show you what that means. So this search, this criteria that we did, this here is called Tom. So when you go to the dashboard, here's my favorite searches. And this may look different from yours because you can move these things around. But see, now I just click on Tom. There's the search instantly.
Now, this is a favorite search, this is not a hot sheet.
No, this is favorites.
Okay.
Favorite search, and like I said, it may look different on yours, so you can move these things around.
Oh. I didn't read
So I have a few here. I have a school teacher. Her name is Sherry. Right now I'm searching for her. So here's automated search. Click of a button. Done. So it just saves you a whole lot of time when you're doing this several times a day. And I also have something new. 12 new, that's Blossom Valley. I want new listings on Blossom Valley in the last 1 and 2 days. There they are right there. See, daily market, 0 and 1.
Okay, now these are favorite searches again.
Yeah. You can have up to 15 on your dashboard at one time.
I guess you just put the criteria, the income market, like 0 to 1. And,
Yeah. And
If it's active, it's active.
yeah, but if you want to narrow down a little bit, just cable.
if you want to do just today, well then this here, this market watch,
Oh, okay.
this is for all the areas that I choose, and that's areas 1 through 19 plus area 23. Because I like the Los Gatos Mountains. It also pulls up Mountain View as well. So when you set up your market watch,
This is, okay, this is interactive,
Yeah.
so.
you want to do another one, Alex?
Yeah, let's do Alex. You know, he was with you until what point? Okay, save. And
Okay, you go save.
then we're gonna talk
Oh, you have to give a name. You guys want to do one more, set up one more favorite search?
No, I'm good.
Ellen, did you say yes?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Want to do another one? Okay, give me the criteria. Active, of course. What are you going to be looking for? Single family.
3 plus 2 plus.
He's gonna go to dashboard.
3 plus, 2 plus,
It's still 1,500 square feet.
at least 1,500.
Yeah.
So now you just click it?
And
Price range?
still 100 to 600.
100 to 600?
I'm thinking about the valley, the Central Valley.
Central Valley, you should be doing that on Metro List though.
I should be doing that?
Yeah, because that's their MLS is Metro List. But we'll try it. Sometimes they communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's pretty much it.
it's in this Minnesota County. It does point out quite a few.
Let's do lot size. Let's do,
That's it. Oh,
10 plus acres.
I have brackets. 1,500 plus, and then the lot size, how big?
Let's do 10 plus acres. Criteria.
10 plus acres. Well, they have that much acreage in the strike range? How do you can adjust it. See, yeah, it's not showing there. Let's get rid of this. So you got 290 there. So let's say 2 plus acres. So there's 2. Okay, so that'll give us a search. Okay, so get your results. Now here's your results. And you see button here, hit save. And then it says, this is the new search for you. So now you name it. And then you can have it. Well, if you're going to email it.
Can you see that too?
Right now we're just doing the favorite searches. So click this one, hit save, and then go check your dashboard. See if there's Alma. Just click on Alma, and it does the search for you.
How do you remove people from your favorite?
If anybody has questions, raise your hand and we can help each other.
So I just hit manage, and down here, I'll give you the delete option.
No, I showed the speed bar, which I didn't know until you showed me the other day. You can just put in a address.
You guys like to use the Market Watch? You guys been using it? No? Okay, well, what you want to do is set it up. Go to Customize. And so mine is set up for the top 4. Single-family condos, townhouses, and manufactured homes. And this is for the areas 1 through 23 in the Mountain View, and these are the last 2 that are needed anymore. And so this is going to pull up everything, all the changes that happen in these areas and these type of properties. So I hit save. And so now, this updates, anytime something happens on the MLS, it's going to update new listings, price increase, price decrease, TFTs. Back on market, listing back on market is when somebody withdrew a property and put it back on. Okay, so that's not when a transaction fell through and it goes back on. This is when it was withdrawn and goes back on. Contingent pending, sold, and this is if you're looking at rentals, rental that got taken off the market. And I like this one, listing expired, and then listing's canceled. So this updates, within a few minutes after somebody makes a change on the MLS.
So you went into customize, or what did you do? I missed.
Customize is what you want on your hot sheet. Like, say you only want single-family homes that you want to keep track of.
Well, so wait a minute. We were at Market Watch, right?
Yeah.
So, so you put in different criteria, right?
Correct.
Your graph looks different than mine, right? So, how do you change that? What did you do?
What's different?
Are you talking about?
Well, for example, new listings, you've got a much longer green line than I do. So how does that?
How many do you have showing on yours, new listings?
28.
28?
Yes.
I don't know how they figure out the length of these bars.
So that's right. Maybe hit refresh. I'll hit
It's
refresh.
it's the area that you selected.
So area, how do you do that in customize?
Yeah, customize. MLS areas, you can go by area, zip code, city, or county.
No, I didn't get that.
So, okay, so.
Market Watch.
You want to do your area, hold on.
So I did MLS area 1 to 23, and it turned out 5.
MLS areas. You can do 1 through,
It's like a regular search. You can search zip code, area, city, or county. You can even get specific. If you want to just keep an eye on a certain street, you can put in a street name.
Oh, okay, right there.
Yeah, see? So,
Okay.
but I'm looking at the whole area. This is the one that will change constantly throughout the day.
And then you can save.
you can do one.
Yeah, hit save.
You see, it's like 1
Okay.
to something.
That made a difference. That's what
Oh,
it
yeah,
does.
okay, I got it.
Okay.
So for the ones that are listing canceled, if, say, you call those canceled listings and got another listing to go up to listing back on the market,
Oh, you want to?
or is that different?
Now, listing back in the market is when it was withdrawn.
Okay, so withdrawn is not counted.
It's not canceled, it's just withdrawn. Let's say it's not selling, so they want to remodel the kitchen. So they pull it, they withdraw it from the active market, they go and remodel the kitchen, and then they bring it back. So that's listing back on market. If it was canceled and it gets relisted, it goes on new listings.
Okay.
All right, so you can either look at what happened just today, the last 24 hours, go back 3 days, and go back up to 7 days. So normally I start with 24 hours because the MLS input is done by agents who, some are early birds, some are night owls. So you never know when they're going to go on. Some people work 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Some people start very early in the morning. Sometimes things are done at 2 in the morning. It's all done by us, so we all have different hours. So when I start my day, I start with 24 hours. That way I see if anything happened while I was asleep. Once I get caught up with that, see right now there's 11 listings within the last 24 hours. And you can see it right here, 0, 0, 0, and then these are the ones that went on before midnight. So now I'm caught up with that. So the next time I do my market watch, I'm going to just look at what is happening today, because I already seen ones from yesterday. So now it's just today. From 12 midnight on.
So I did Santa Clara County rather than areas. That works the same.
And the importance of keeping an eye on the market is what?
Well, you want to know what's going on. I mean, if you're working with somebody and they say, oh, did you see that house that came on the market? Say, oh yeah, that one, of course. I mean, this is, you should be doing. I do this at least 5 or 6 times a day. I mean, it's just constant. I just like to see what's going on. I like to be on top of things. Some people don't do it. Some people do it 100 times a day. Depends on, what you're doing. But you should be keeping an eye on everything. And I always, first thing I look at is expireds. Because you never know. Maybe you want to work on expireds. And if it's something that's in your area, you want to try it. There it is. Then I'll look at the solds, especially if I have a listing that I'm working on, want to see what the latest comps are. Well, hey, there's a good one right there.
Yay. That was a little glim one.
Yeah,
I like
and
that.
you can also check your, different things. You can do rentals, you can do lots of land, multi-units, commercials, you can do separate classes. So very, very handy tool. It's something that should be used many, many times a day. Now these are the hot sheets. Now this is what I use for, if I want to see 148, that's 95148. If I want to know what's happening at 95148, this is what's going on at 95148. So these are the changes. And when I say what's happening, these are the recent changes. Just like the Market Watch, it gives you all the updates and the changes, but this is specific for 95148. And I have it set up to where I see what the change type was this change to sold, that one went contingent, list price decrease, this one went pending. And also you can have it set up, for example, the price decrease was, what did that say, 8%. This one from active to contingent.
So how did you set up a hot sheet? I didn't get that.
Well, we haven't gone through the setup yet, I'm just showing you what it is. But on hot sheets, let's see, it's been a while since I set them up. Okay. Let's do a quick search. Okay, clinical registry number. Okay, so here's my results. Let's go to save. Let me save search. Oh, gosh, I'm trying to remember how to set up a hot sheet.
When you're on the dashboard, there's a thing at the bottom that says customize. Or at least there should be. There it is.
Okay.
And you add, like, your zip codes or whatever you need, and you edit the criteria, and it'll pop you to the...
Well, I know that. I mean, I'm trying to remember how to create it, though. This is how to edit it.
Yeah.
Reset, delete, edit, rename, add.
Yeah.
Add, there we go.
Rename it and then edit the criteria.
Name, let's do 123, 95123. Save, okay, there's our new hot sheet for 95123. But we want to add some, whoops, I'm sorry. Criteria, edit criteria. Okay, now you just do regular search. You want new listings, these are all the categories you can have. So what I did is I want to know everything that's going on in my area. So I click them all, but I only want the residential. I'm not looking at lots or businesses. And zip code 95123. And that is my criteria. Hit save. So now there's my new hot sheet 123. And there it is. 123.
So when I go into add a hot sheet, it comes up with it says cross property. I can't type into it.
But it's okay because when you do your criteria, you're gonna select the type of properties you want.
So you save it as cross property?
Because that's gonna pick up different things.
Okay, so,
But when you go into your criteria, you're gonna select what you want. Single family,
okay.
condos, townhouses, mobile homes. If you want to do lots, you can select that one.
To create it, do you do edit or do you do reset?
To create it, add.
You add it?
Yeah, hit add. And it's gonna say cross property, which just means it's employing more than one type. Then you give it a name. This one's for Elma. Okay? So now we're gonna say this new hot sheet called Elma. But right now there's no criteria, so you're gonna edit criteria. And now, let's say Elma, you just want to see the new listings. And you want residential, single family, condo, and townhouses. Okay? And you want to do that in area Santa Teresa, Blossom Valley, and Cambrian. So you put in your criteria,
Yeah.
and then you hit save.
So, yeah.
Okay, so now it's saved. Go to your dashboard,
So when I just say.
and you should see Elma in hot sheets.
Yes.
See it? Now click on it.
No, we just call it Fremont.
There's your hot sheet.
Oh, I know.
So that's how you add it, create it.
And that's how you create it.
And then go back to it.
Yeah, it's always going to be there till you delete it. And let's say your client says, I don't want Cambrian anymore. So go back to your hot sheet. So Elma. customize, go back to your Elma, edit criteria, and then just get rid of Hebron. So now it's just Santa Teresa and Blossom Hill. Hit save. And now Elma's hot sheet is there with the new updated criteria. And now it's just the new listings in Almaden, I'm sorry, not Almaden, Santa Teresa and Blossom Valley. Yvonne, what time is this class over? 1:30. Okay, how much time do you do in CMA?
I have one.
Okay.
Anybody need help so far what we did? We don't need to, so today's class is, the basics, right? So if we don't even have the basics down, we should proceed. So anybody need help so far what we covered? Don't be shy. Raise your hand.
I do, but I don't think I can go back and figure out, I've got the main points.
It's okay at the beginning. Okay. Anybody need help so far?
I thought, you're gonna do the comparables.
I'm doing the comps.
Okay.
So, no, everybody's good so far? Alex? Can you help Alex with the hot sheet?
Hot sheet? All right, Alex, you want to start from scratch?
He wants Milpitas and Fremont.
Okay, so let's start from scratch.
Let's get you at least,
Go to your dashboard.
how about you, Kevin? Oh, Kevin?
Yes. All right, so